This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
This chocolate brownie ice cream is really delicious. It's super chocolatey because it has both unsweetened and semi-sweet chocolate in it, and it's really rich, but it's only made with 2% milk. First thing we're going to do is make the base for our ice cream. So we're going to start by getting some 2% milk, and I'm going to measure out 2 cups of that and put it in a medium-sized saucepan. Then I'm going to put it on the stove on a medium heat, and I want to bring it to a boil, and that takes between 12 and 13 minutes. Now we want a really chocolatey base for this ice cream. So we're going to use 2 kinds of chocolate. We're going to use 1 ounce of an unsweetened chocolate, and 1 ounce is a little less than 1/4 cup, so you probably will need to measure that out by weight. So I'm going to put that in a small saucepan along with a 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate. The combination of these 2 chocolates are really going to be great. And then to melt that, I'm going to take a 1/2 cup of heavy cream and pour that right in. Now I'm going to give this a little mix up, and then I'm going to take it over to the stove, and on a medium heat I'm going to go ahead and melt it. Now you're going to want to stick with this because as soon as that cream heats up, your chocolate is going to start melting really fast. So here I am over at the stove. I'm melting my chocolates into my cream in this little pot, and then in this saucepan I have my 2% milk coming to a boil. Now my chocolate has melted really nicely, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and then I'm just going to put it to the back here to let it cool. Over here at my mixer I have my whisk attachment on, and I'm going to put 5 egg yolks in, along with a 1/2 cup of sugar plus an additional 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on a medium speed and let this beat for about 2 minutes. Now you can see that my milk is starting to come to a boil. You can see that it's developing a skin on top, and you're starting to see some movement underneath that. That means it's coming to a boil, and that's perfect. Now we're going to add that to our egg yolks. Now with the mixture going, I'm going to add my hot milk, but just about a tablespoon at a time. If we were to put the milk in too quickly, the eggs would start to scramble, which we don't want. So we're just going to add it a little bit at a time. Now I'm going to take the pan that the milk was in, I'm not going to rinse it out or anything, and I'm going to put it back on the stove, and I'm going to take that and pour it right back into the pan. Then I'm going to set the heat on a medium-low, and with my heat-resistant spatula, I'm just going to start stirring this. Now you are going to want to get an instant read thermometer at this point out, because we want to cook this very slowly until it gets up to about 170 degrees. Now we're about at 120 right now, so we're going to let this cook for a little bit, but I'm going to continue stirring it. There we are at 170 degrees. So I'm now going to turn my heat off, and I'm going to slide this over here so it's off the heat. Then I'm going to take my chocolate mixture that I've already melted. I'm going to go ahead and put that right into this base. And now I'm going to stir that in. And once I see that the chocolate has totally melted, now I'm going to take my little strainer that I have here, and this is a 8-cup measuring cup with a little strainer in the top, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour that mixture right through the strainer like this. And I'm just going to take my spatula, I'm going to kind of press out any chocolate that might be hanging on there. And so now what I have in here is this nice, smooth ice cream base. Now I'm going to go ahead and let this sit on the counter for about a half an hour because it's too hot right now to put in the refrigerator. But after about 30 minutes, it'll be lukewarm, and then we can cover it with plastic wrap and pop it in the refrigerator. Now, it will need to stay in the fridge for a little more than 2 hours, sometimes between 2 and 3. But the way you can tell that it's ready to put in your ice cream maker is if when you feel the bowl down here, it's totally cold. Well, it's been about 2 hours and the ice cream base is nice and chilled. So I'm going to go ahead and take the plastic off, and then you will want to kind of take your spatula and kind of mix that up again. And then it's time to put it into your ice cream maker. So I'm going to go ahead and get my chilled bowl, put it on. Here's my dasher, get that on, put the lid on, and then I do want to start this running. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put our chocolate base right through the center. And this is why I love using this giant measuring cup. It pours really easily. Now I'm just going to let this freeze for about 20 minutes. Now for the brownie part of our ice cream. You can either buy some brownies at the store, or we made some up last night and obviously ate some last night. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a portion of this. Now what I'm going to do is just cut this up into little bits, and then I'll add this to the ice cream right towards the very end. So it's been about 20 minutes, and so now I'm going to go ahead and put my brownies bits into the ice cream, and I'm just going to let this churn for just another minute or so. I don't want the brownies to totally break up. I want them to stay kind of chunky. And that's about it. Now we need to get the ice cream out of the bowl, and we need to harden it off. When you take the dasher out, you're going to see that the ice cream is still pretty soft, almost like it were soft serve. It's not scoopable yet. So what I'm going to do is I have a freezer container here, and I'm just going to put the ice cream right into that. And then I'm going to put a lid on this and put it in the freezer for about an hour, and then you'll be able to scoop it. Well, the ice cream's been hardening in the freezer for about 2 hours, and as you can see, it's scooping out just beautifully. Now, if you're a chocolate lover, you are definitely going to want to try this at home. So just go to our website, go to the Sundays with Cindy show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And as always, if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll see you next time.